God, this gun's so clean.
Oh, the real question is, do I toss this guy?
No.
Oh
Don't toss
my
him.
God.
Capture?
Yeah, you're supposed to capture him. That's what the objective is.
That
Trust
was
me, I wanted to
such a
toss that
clean
dude's
4-piece
ass.
to end that game. Hello everybody, K-Whip here, and welcome to another Destiny 2 video. In today's video, I'm bringing you a staple of the channel, which is a Sturm and Drang video, which I think I've made maybe 6 of, because this is a loadout that I really enjoy using, and it's something that I've been kind of reminding people of over and over again, and just telling them that it's better than people think. And this video is kind of doing the exact same thing, but really saying that it is full on meta now, because every part of the loadout is pretty strong now, and there's some ridiculous synergy that can be crafted, and it's extremely effective. So I'll go through those through the video, and also talk about kind of the roles on my Drang, and show you kind of the Sturm with the catalyst, because it's important to get that catalyst. It helps the weapon a lot. And then I don't normally show like my armor setup, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of hints towards what to use for that as well, because I use some things that make this loadout really shine. And also I'll be explaining why I think that this is a meta option, and kind of explain my argument for that, and just say why it's really good right now. And even if it's not meta for something like, I don't know, trials, which I still think it could be, it's going to be nuts in 6s. So let's talk a little bit about what I'm using first, and then we'll go on to talking about why it's so strong. So if you're wondering what the role on my Drang Baroque is, I'm using one with Swashbuckler, Moving Target, Light Mag, and Arrowhead Break. Then it has a range masterwork and an Icarus grip mod, so I'm really kind of optimizing for range and kind of handling as well with Arrowhead Break. And then Swashbuckler is pretty fun to play with. It's pretty similar to Rampage, where you pick up a kill, you have the extra damage, but also if you have a melee kill, then you have a ton of extra damage, which is also fun to play with. So that's what's on the Drang. Now let's look at some armor, and I'll talk about my Stasis subclass and what I'm doing with that as well in a little bit. But I have a hand cannon targeting and sidearm targeting on the helmet to help with registration for both of those things, as well as taking charge, so when I walk over an orb of light, I will get charged with light. Then for my gauntlets, I'm using the Ophidian Aspects, which the important part of them for this loadout is that when you switch weapons, it will be a lot faster switching in between those weapons, and you are constantly going from Sturm to Drang to Drang to Sturm, and the faster that you can swap into between them is very important, and I'll touch on that a little bit later. I'm also running stacks on stacks on this, which gives you an extra stack of Charge with Light for every stack you gain. So each time I step over an orb, I will have Charge with Light times 2, and that is important because on my chest piece I have High Energy Fire. So what High Energy Fire does is that you will have extra damage for your weapons whenever you are charged with light. So that makes it so you can 2-tap with Sturm, you can do extra damage with your sidearm, and if you have Sturm overcharged, you can actually one-shot with Sturm with Charge with Light and High Energy Fire. Then I also have Unflinching Hand Cannon Aim and Unflinching Sidearm Aim as well. Then I'm running Radiant Light on my boots to give me some more strength. That gives plus 20 strength is what Radiant Light does. As well as when you pop super, it'll make your teammates charge with light. And if they're running Powerful Friends, I think you will also get charged with light when you pop your super. And a lot of people run Powerful Friends, so that's pretty decent. And then on my Bond, I usually have Powerful Friends on. I was doing some PvE, so it doesn't have it on right now, but that's what I would be running. Now, let's talk about Stasis a little bit, and why I chose to play the Stasis Warlock, and why I think that's the best option for using Sturm and Drang. Well, the Stasis Warlock has the most instant encasement options, meaning that they freeze someone instantly with an ability, out of any of the characters. So you can freeze someone instantly with your grenade through the Glacier Nade or Cold Snap. I would recommend Cold Snap because it's probably the most consistent one for freezing people. You can freeze people with your melee instantly, and if you shatter someone, your Ice Flare bolts will go off and freeze more people, as well as you can freeze people with your super. And why freezing is important is because if you do that, and you have Whisper of Hedrons on, then you will have extra damage for 10 seconds after freezing them. And this is a pretty significant damage buff, and will make it so you can either 2-tap with Sturm normally, or if you have Sturm Overcharge, you will one-shot kill with it. And so on Warlock, there's all those different ways of freezing people, as well as there's one additional source when you get your second aspect. So with Warlock, you're constantly freezing people, and the great thing about freezing people, as frustrating as it is and as annoying as it is that you can kind of decide how you kill people in that time when they're frozen. And so you can choose to finish the kill with your Drang, and once you get a kill with Drang, it will make your Sturm Overcharge, which loads a bullet into the mag, and also makes that bullet do extra damage, as well as reloading the Sturm's entire magazine. So how your rhythm is going to kind of work is that you want to lead an engagement with a freeze, whether it be a cold snap grenade or your Warlock melee, and once you have them frozen, you take out your Drang, shoot them in the head a couple times, you're going to get that sidearm kill. Hopefully it doesn't count as a shatter kill and it counts as a sidearm kill, because if it's a shatter kill, you're just going to have the damage boost from Whisper of Hedrons and not have your Sturm Overcharge, but usually you can get it to be a sidearm kill. And then after you kill that frozen target with your Drang, you will have 10 seconds of extra damage and an infinite time of having your Sturm Overcharged until you fire, where you can one-shot kill someone. And if you don't find someone within those first 10 seconds, it's okay. You can still two-shot kill someone. Or maybe if you catch them weak, you're still going to one-shot them, because it does like 163 damage on a headshot with Sturm Overcharged. And if you do hit that headshot and get someone down to like 40 health or less, you have two pretty good options for you. You can fire again with your Sturm, which is going to be pretty quick and easy, and if you pick up the kill on that second shot, it will reload your energy weapon, so that's a pretty nice thing to do, especially if you were picking up kills with Drang previously. Or if you want to be kind of cheeky, you can hit that headshot with Sturm to get them very low, quickly switch to Drang, finish them off with just one bullet of Drang, and then you instantly have another overcharged bullet in Sturm. And that's why the handling is so important, and being able to swap in between weapons is so critical, is because you can really choose which weapon you're going to get the final blow with, which can affect which weapon's going to be reloaded, where you're going to have your extra damage from, and things like that. Also, a quick plug for the Sturm Catalyst, because it's extremely important and really good. I forget how you get it because it was a couple years ago, but it is super good. It has a major buff to both handling and range, which substantially help this weapon, and make it really one of statistically the best 120 RPMs in the game, probably the best, as you're not really going to get more range than that. That's a very high stability typically. The handling is the best that a 120 is ever going to be. The magazine size is really solid because it's got extended mag, and the reload speed actually isn't all that bad either, but typically you're not even going to be reloading this if you're getting kills with Drang. Also, side note, if you're wondering what the ornament is, it is Symbiosis. I've got actually 3 of them here. I'll go through and see which ones you like the most. I think it's pretty clear-cut that Symbiosis is the best. The normal one actually looks pretty clean too right there. But yeah, I'm going with Symbiosis. And so that's basically the entire setup and how to play with it. Let's talk a little bit about why I think it is going to be a meta option and why I think it's worth using, even if you're trying pretty hard. Well, first off, let's just pretend that there's no damage buffs and it's just pure weapon gameplay. 120 RPM hand cannons are really good right now. They've got spectacular range, the best of any hand cannon. They're very forgiving. They're hard-hitting and good for team firing. So 120 RPMs are one of the best primaries in the game right now, and most primaries are fairly competitive, but I think this one will be a standout in a couple weeks once people really figure out what's good. Next, Drang. It's a sidearm. It's a 300 RPM sidearm. It's statistically quite strong. There's not much to not like about this sidearm, because sidearms are in a really good spot right now. Even before the 600 RPM nerf, they were still fairly competitive and one of the better primaries in the game, and now that 600 RPMs are no longer ruling the Crucible, they have a chance to really step it up and be dominant in the close range. So on the individual level, I think that each of these weapons can be meta by themselves, because they are both fantastic, especially the Sturm statistically, and they're in fantastic archetypes that are very competitive right now. Then when you start to consider the synergy in between the weapons, it becomes pretty crazy. Because if you're getting kills with each weapon, you never really have to worry about reloading. If you have the masterwork, double kills will give you charge with light, which will make it so you can 1-tap or 2-tap with that damage buff. And charge with light is something that doesn't have a finite duration. It lasts until you pick up a final blow on someone with your weapon. Finally, it plays incredibly with stasis. And stasis is going to be meta until it gets nerfed. For sure. It is so unbelievably powerful. And the thing about stasis is, like I said, you can decide how you kill people when they're frozen. So you can always decide to get that kill with Drang, which will lead to you being able to one-shot people with Whisper of Hedrons. And if you're wondering what other fragments to use, the next one that I would pick would be the one that gives you increased ability regen for 15 seconds after, I think it's either shattering or using an ability, because then that will just allow you to freeze more people as you have your abilities up more. And yeah, I think that's going to be everything I have to say about Sturm and Drang. It's a combination that I really appreciate, and I think is one of the best combos in the game that is just really never seen heavy usage, which I think is a mistake. Because it's super fun and now super good. And honestly, it could get really annoying if people actually start using this a lot. But I feel like we're kind of past the point of this game being annoying and worrying about what's annoying with the introduction of stasis. But yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and see you later. I was like, slide to the left.